Get a blank piece of paper, write down who you want to be. No one ever acts anxious. This is the biggest point in the book. Self-esteem can rise just on that alone.
So if I'm 30 odd, I'm 33, got low self-esteem, and I came to you, and that low self-esteem was manifesting in abusive relationships, bad work relationships, negative sort of feelings about myself, and maybe even some impulsive behaviors, where would you start with me?
I'm a doctor, so the first is make sure you're actually okay.
I'm okay.
Because if someone were presenting with this, they could be in depression, and that can present in many ways. Typically, it's low mood and loss of pleasure in everything and loss of energy, but that doesn't have to be. So I mustn't miss that. So I would make sure your mind is not ill, but don't need treatment. Now we assume that this is long-standing, and what you're describing is a lot of maladaptive coping strategies. You're almost punishing yourself. You know, I don't deserve to eat well, and I don't deserve to eat the right things. So I deserve to be overweight, or I deserve to look like this. So that could be the bottom. My starting point is exploration. But the key to this would be to move all that to one side if you're in a reasonable place where you can actually communicate. If not, I'll let you express it all. It's important you get it off your chest. If you've got it, you think, I don't need to do that. What I do is what I've said in the book here. In A Path Through the Jungle, I explain the starting point is get a blank piece of paper and write down who you want to be. What behaviors do you want to have? Let's define what you want, not what you don't want, not what you're experiencing. Don't start with a treacle. I call that the treacle. Start with a blank piece of paper and then write down the person you want to be.
在你写下这个部分的同时，我相信一直以来正在观看智慧面包的你，一直都想学好英语，对吧？除了观看我们的影片练习英语听力，掌握好英语口语能力，可以帮助你提高你的自信心。在这里，小编向大家强力推荐 Elsa Speak。Elsa Speak 是一款搭配 AI 技术的英语口语学习 App， 它可以为你的英语发音进行评分，并纠正你的口语发音。它还有1600多个课程和40多种不同的主题，让你模拟真实情景，学习日常交流常用的词汇、短语和句子，进而提升你的英语口语能力。你还可以加入社群，跟着其他世界各地学习的小伙伴们一起讨论及学习。让小编最喜欢的地方是 Elsa Speak 就好像随时陪同的英语老师一样，让你随时都可以查阅英语发音。现在让我来为大家做个简单的示范。
This is the biggest point in the book.
This is the biggest point in the book.
This is the biggest point in the book.
This is the biggest point in the book. 现在我们有好康要送给粉丝们啦！点击下方的链接，或者扫描屏幕上的 QR code， 你就可以免费下载 Elsa Speak， 并享有7天的免费高级会员资格。而第二个链接提供独家折扣优惠，现在订阅 Elsa Pro 1年的高级会员就可以享有6折的优惠，或者选择订阅 Elsa Pro 终身会员，你就可以享有高达15折的优惠。有兴趣的朋友们就不要错过了哦。
Write down the person you want to be.
I want to be really confident. I want to have a girlfriend or a boyfriend. I want to get married. I want to have kids. I want to work out every day. I want to eat really good food.
Right. So what you're describing now is the human system. The great news is when I ask you for the characteristics you've got, so I want to be calm, I want to be happy, I want to be confident, that is you. That is you.
How do you know it's me?
Right, because if we can't surgically remove interference neuroscientifically, which we can see on functional MRI scanners. If we remove the chimp and computer system, then you're completely in control of yourself. So you would choose to be calm. You would choose to be confident. So therefore, that's you. The human system can choose. What happens is when you choose to be calm, the chimp system interferes, or the computer interferes, and shows to the world someone who's not calm. So it's very important to recognize who you are before we start. No one ever acts anxious.
No.
No one. They say, no, what I want to be is calm, collected, a good friend, have integrity. That is you if we didn't have interference in the machine. So it's very crucial. This is the biggest point in the book. The biggest point is to define yourself, because now you've got self-esteem can rise just on that alone. Once you've grasped that, you say, wow, what I'm presenting to the world is interference. It's not me. If I didn't have this machine, I would not have anxiety, because that's the system that you're saying, the human system can't do anxiety. It's not built to do that. It's built to be rational and calm. But what it wants to do and how it wants to present is a choice. The chimp has no choice. The computer has no choice. The computer's programmed. These are interfering and presenting to the world someone who's not you. So it's very important to grasp that concept. That's my starting point. I don't care what you write. I don't care what you want to do with your life. It's not for me. I'm not a judge. I'm here as a doctor to explore this with you and get insights for yourself. So the most people are not psychopathic. We're decent people who've just got lost in the way the neuroscience of our mind has tumbled us. So my starting point was to say, let's write out the real you, and let's start building ourselves on that and recognizing what is not us, and let's start unpicking it. And we went earlier about low self-esteem. Let's look at why you have that. First, it's natural and healthy. That can help people. Sometimes just saying that, they go, that's amazing. I feel better for knowing it's natural and healthy. Maybe rubbish and unhelpful, but at least I know it's healthy. And there's not something wrong with me. Because the second you start saying, oh, I'm trying to please people and I can't say no, and you see that as being a weakness or a fault, we're in trouble again, because you're muddling yourself up with a machine. So that's my starting point. Who are you? What's the machine doing? All of this, anything the chimp does, anything it does is natural. There's nothing you're going to give me, even if it murders someone. That's what chimps do. They're violent. So it's still illegal and not acceptable, but I'm saying everything's natural, so that puts us on a different way of looking at it. Again, to try and give context to that, natural isn't always good. Overeating is natural, but it's not good. And even like the classic one I always use with parents and teenagers, if you've got a teenager who's got a tidy bedroom, that's who I want to meet. If they're messy bedroom, great, that's normal, you know? So you're more concerned with teenagers that aren't being teenagers. So if you've got a teenager who never lies, then it's a bit worrying. Maybe they're good at deceit. Because teenagers are learning to lie and they're learning to defend themselves, and it's a natural way of doing it. It's not helpful and hopefully they'll grow out of it. But you've got to say what's natural and let's work with that.